Athbi, welcome to the Commerce Talks podcast. Today, live at the Seamless Conference in Riyadh. You're the founder of JustClean, which is, I guess, it's a cleaning service business, but you can explain it yourself and introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, I'm Athbi Al-Enezi. Thanks for having me here today. I'm half Kuwaiti, half British. Grew up in Kuwait in my early years, and then continued studied in England. After that, I moved back to Kuwait and worked for one of the biggest banks in Kuwait. I worked for human resources, actually. Mm-hmm. And then me and my brother, the co-founder of the company, come to realise, after living in the UK and basically washing your clothes daily and hanging it out, and when it rains, you run out to get it when it's raining so it stays dry. But in the GCC, that's completely different, in the Gulf region. If you look at the traditional Arabic clothing, all this has to be washed at the laundry. So when you're driving around, you see as many laundries as you do as coffee shops or supermarkets.
Here?
Yeah, across Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, and the UAE. So it's a big part of their daily life is getting the laundry done. But what we realised is when, at that time, 4.5 years ago, that was the beginning of the surge of e-commerce in the region. There was a few big exits, so people started getting interested in the app world as well. So me and my brother were always interested in laundry because you drive past any laundry and it was always full of clothes. That meant one thing, that meant there's a business there, but it was completely offline. So we thought we'd build an app that gathers all the laundries in the GCC into one place. It's a marketplace. You get to select the laundry, you get to select your pickup time and delivery time, and you also get to see the rating, see the price difference, and compare the laundry. So that's what you select. Because in the past, you weren't able to. First of all, every laundry around the GCC delivers. It's like the food sector here. So without a delivery service within your business, it really does. You do struggle. Because that's the type of culture that we are here. We like people to deliver things to us. So the laundry is the same. So we wanted to give the customer the ability to select his own time for pickup, his own time for delivery, online payments, and rating, as well as price comparison. So then he'd be able to compare through all the laundries and select and be able to come pick up and deliver it.
So, but what is the app exactly doing? Are you like connecting existing laundries to your service, or have you like building your own laundry facilities where you like pick up, have like all the delivery services? So what is like the value chain you're providing?
See, a lot of people have gone down the model in this, especially in this industry. If you look at the apps in Europe and across the world, in America as well for laundry, what they do is they build an app that has you select it's just one laundry branded, but they don't actually do the cleaning. They send it out to third parties, but it's actually named under the app. However, the marketplaces in the region here are very successful with the food and other industries as well. So we didn't want to go and change that. And plus, some of these laundries in the region have been here for 70 years. There's one in Saudi Arabia that has over 500 branches. That's more than McDonald's in the country, and he's been in the business for 70 years. So instead of going to build a new brand and acquiring people to trust this brand, to trust this laundry, because this is where you send your clothes, it's important to you, we thought we'd build a marketplace where it lists all the laundries and you're able to select each one. Because the good thing about this is, if you get a damaged item, you're not going to delete the app like you would do any of the other apps that actually aren't doing the cleaning. You'd actually move, and we'll get onto that and how we retain customers in the session. I'm sure you'll be asked that question, but the marketplace helps for the customer to have a selection.
So it's way closer to like food delivery. It's not like an Uber where everything is like Uber branded. It's like food delivery where you choose like your restaurant and they're kind of a delivery option. But the logistics, picking up like the laundry and bringing it back, is this like centrally organized from you with some drivers? Or it's also organized from the laundries itself?
See, we are a commission-based company, like all marketplaces. So we don't make money unless the business actually makes money. So we work on marketing and building a good product and customer retention and everything to give us the ability to retain customers. So what we noticed was at the beginning is we partner with laundries that have delivery, which are the majority, 90% in the region. But what we noticed was when we were doing marketing campaigns, big marketing campaigns, they weren't able to keep up with the demand due to the capacity. When I say capacity, not the washing, but the actual delivery. So we had to launch our own logistics to be able to cope with that demand, that wasn't part of the plan in the beginning, but however, now we offer our logistics across the region. So 60% of our orders are done by our own logistics, which is better because we can sustain the pickup time, delivery time, and the quality, and the 40% are done by the laundries.
as it is a marketplace model, usually you have to solve like the initial problem, because like you don't come with like a big demand if there's like not enough offer on the platform, and the other way around. And so I guess when you recruited the first laundries, that said, I don't know anybody who's using it. There's no new customer, and I have all my customers like living around my laundry. How did you solve this demand offer problem?
Well, it's quite funny. I'm going to talk about a story about 4 years ago. This is one thing that got us started. Me and my brother took a loan to start this business of, I'll say it in pounds, it was around £70,000, British pounds. That's what we took from the bank to start this business. We both quit our jobs. But we under budgeted it, so we had enough to get the app built and designed and everything, then launch, but we didn't have any money to actually market it. That was something we made a mistake with. So what we did is we convinced the laundries that had signed with us. What we did was we got some tier A laundries, some mid-range laundries, and some cheaper laundries. So everyone has a selection of price range within the app. That's what a marketplace is. It was the beginning of digital marketing through Instagram sponsored and things like that. And these laundries didn't even have it was pen and paper. This is how they're doing their receipts, by pen and paper. So they didn't have any online presence. We managed to convince them to pay us to put their laundry online, offering discount and sponsored and digital marketing that we learned how to do ourselves online, get them to pay for it, and it directs them to the app to get the discount. So we were acquiring users that the laundries were paying for, that they were increasing their business for, and that was the beginning of our search for the marketing.
Ah, interesting. That's a smart move, because like obviously before like the app economy, you would have built like websites for laundries, and then they would have paid you like for building a website and running marketing campaigns. So in that case, they built for their own marketplace presence. Because like if you're like looking into the development of food delivery startups, usually there's like a big goal conflict in the more developed countries where all the pizza services set their own websites first, and they said, no, I don't want to get on Lieferando, the delivery hero or whatever, because then I have to pay commission. But this was that was not an issue here. So it's like the average laundry that is working with JustClean having a higher revenue after working with you than before? Is it something you can prove?
Of course. We've got to the point now, especially in some of the countries that we operate in, if they're not on JustClean, they would struggle to operate. Like I would say 70% of their income comes in. I'll tell you a story in Kuwait. One of the laundries built his laundry after JustClean had been established and was live. He had one branch in an area that you would never find it. Google Maps struggles to find it. But he built it with a concept. He's seen how the food industry was very successful, so he had the concept that he was going to work online. Now, I tell any laundry, if you follow the fundamentals of a marketplace, pick up time on time, delivery on time, and getting a good rating and offer a consistent cleaning service to the user. Users don't change the laundry like they change with food. One day they want pizza, one day sushi, one day burger. People are loyal, and we've seen this through our cohorts within the system, that the loyalty stays with laundry. This guy, 2 years later, from one little branch that you'd never find in one car, has 7 branches in Kuwait with 19 drivers. And he's basically quit his job, and now the laundry is no longer a side business. It's become a quite established business for him.
Maybe before we got into more detail into unit economics of laundry, so why is it actually the case that people have to launder their laundry in such services? Why don't they have like washing machines like in UK?
Okay, because laundry in this region doesn't break the bank like it does in Europe. In Europe, you'd use it as an event. If you've got a big event, you'd get your suit dry cleaned, a wedding, certain occasions. That's what's the culture. And it's costly, yes. It does kind of break the bank. But here in the region, the Arabic clothing and the headpiece that the guys wear and the women now buy, they cannot be washed at home. It could be washed, but it cannot be ironed correctly. If you look at the way they wear it and everything, it has to be done to a certain standard. And then the way they wear it is completely different to each other. If you look into it to detail and difference, and that's the way it's ironed, and they use a starch on it to make it stand and stick. So that's impossible to do at home. It has to be done at the laundry because the bigger irons, the bigger tools, But
you won't give like your t-shirts, your underwear into a laundry like that you do yourself at home.
One of our biggest sellers is t-shirts. So we have a big customer base that are half expat, half locals within these countries. So yes, shirts, trousers, but the most selling would be the Arabic clothing, but underwear is also in there, believe it or not. However, me on a personal level, I would get my clothes washed, but my underwear I'd do at home.
Okay. And so what is like the average money spent on a monthly basis for a household in the region here for clothing, for laundry?
Well, I can tell you the industry, not including Saudi Arabia, is a $3.5 billion industry.
Okay, let me write it. 3.5, though, GCC...
Which is Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, and the UAE.
3.5 billion, okay.
And this was a study done by our investors before they initially put the first big investment. And this was done so they could understand the market. And the problem was it had never been done before this study. And the study was done by one of the top 3 researchers in the region. And it was done to the point it took 6 months to complete because it was never done before. We didn't continue with Saudi Arabia because we knew if these 4 countries are $3.5 billion, then the Saudi Arabia is going to be triple that itself as a continent compared to the size of the other countries. So... we're pretty shocked, because we have people that we have in the company with us. They do come back from food industry and taxi. Our reorder rate is as good as the food industry and the grocery industry. We're managing to retain customers, and I'll explain to you later on what tools we've used and how we've built a loyalty program within the app to keep customers coming to us. But we have a very healthy reorder rate, a very healthy basket size, and a very good take rate.
But okay, let's go into that in detail, because what we've seen in the food delivery industry is obviously there was competition coming up in the market, and then you had this voucher war, right? Everybody was throwing vouchers, and in Berlin you could eat for 2 years for free, more or less, because there was so much competition around. Because the venture capitalists thought, okay, we have to buy market share. Eventually we can drive one or two of our competitors out of the market, and then we own it all and we can earn that money. Didn't work out for any party involved.
It's definitely not worked out. So after the pandemic, and I'm sure you'll ask me these questions, but after the pandemic, the investors aren't looking at growth. They're looking at companies that could survive if another pandemic did happen. And if you go out spending marketing like that, acquiring customers, the retainment of them later on is awful. And not just that, the quality of people that you're getting in with the app that are coming for discount, these aren't customers that you're going to be able to build a good cohorts and a good reorder rate through later on, in which you're going to be judged heavily on for investment later on down the line. You'll get these peaks in growth, but that's not what you'll be looking for. It's okay if you're launching a new country. It's okay if you're trying to get a buzz around the app and that, but it can't be a continuous strategy for marketing, and that's not something we do. And I'll explain what we've done to tackle that.
Please explain. If it's not vouchers, how do you do?
So, here in the region, there's something called ishtirakat, and it's well known with the laundry. So at the beginning of the month, you'd go to your local laundry and you'd pay, for example, £20, and you'd get £5 credit free. So that's normal with all laundries within the region. So we went and implemented the same thing on JustClean. And the good thing about JustClean is you don't just use it with one laundry, you can use it with all the laundries. So on offline, you're only going to one laundry. If he damages your clothes, you're going to ask for your money back. With JustClean, no, that credit stays, and you can use it across any laundry you'd like, and it just keeps deducting from your wallet. And then as soon as you get to a certain point, we push you to get more. So you're actually getting 25% discount on every order.
But you only get this discount when you're staying loyal?
When you buy the credit through JustClean Credit. So there's payment methods.
We have to pay in advance, and the more you pay in advance, the higher the discount is you're getting?
Yeah, the higher credit you get. And that credit is not borne by us or our marketing costs. The laundries take on this part.
So the laundries can decide on the credit then? So could I as a laundry say, okay, I'm willing to give 20% when there's more than £100 deposit? Or
no. We, at the beginning, only certain laundries would agree to it, but now without it, you cannot survive on JustClean, because one of our biggest payment methods is JustClean Credit, and the laundries are very happy with it because it's a payments up front as well, so it gets deducted. And if they don't do it, they can't compete with all the other laundries that are on there. And this doesn't come under our marketing spend because the laundries are bearing this cost. To the customer, it looks like you're getting £5 for free, but if you calculate it, it's actually 25%. So if they spend £2 here, £4 there, £5 there, it's actually getting a 25% discount on each one.
So this JustClean Credit is kind of your own currency then?
Yes.
And this kind of currency is also the currency that needs to be used by the laundry. So they're also calculated in the credits.
Yes. So
that's smart. Okay.
Not just that. The good thing is what we did was when me and my brother started, when we called it clean, JustClean, we wanted everyone to think when you think of clean, we want you to think of JustClean. And I'll talk about the new verticals we've gone into becoming a super cleaning app. However, the industry was pen and paper, literally. So you'd go to the laundry, they'd give you a receipt, and you'd go and you'd have to bring your receipt back to get your clothes back. That wasn't going to work. So we were dealing with laundry owners that had ambition and wanted to keep on growing, but you can't grow without data. It's impossible. You can't see month on month. So we looked at all these SaaS systems that are out there and everything, but there was nothing tailored for this industry where it's in Arabic in the system that owners can see online. So we went and took like 6 months away from building onto the app, and we built a full laundry management system. And that management system comes at a very entry level. They have to use it to get their online orders.
It's kind of a laundry ERP.
So then what we did is we said to them, if you like this, you can take it for your offline orders. So now we have a clear vision across the GCC on the offline orders, the online orders, peak time, bad time, and we can see the full industry. So we control the laundry from a marketplace, we control it from a laundry management system, and we control the logistics as well. So we are the full 360 laundry system within the region.
And what is then the online market share? Because if you have like laundries with brick and mortar DNA, with some like offline DNA, not the ones you've mentioned where the one built like 17 laundries. I think all of this is kind of online business. But what is like for a traditional laundry then the online share here in your system?
It depends on which country you're in. Like the first country we started in, Kuwait, it could be laundries that are making 60-70% of their income could be from JustClean, or maybe more. However, in the earlier countries like Saudi Arabia that we've just launched this year, we're nowhere near anything that they're making. So we believe our biggest competitor is the offline market, and there's still a massive share for us to take.
Interesting. So it's like you're charging them for the ERP system or the management system for the laundry. You're getting a commission because of the online order, which must be like
a higher commission if we do the delivery, much higher.
And you do like the delivery. Is that other? So and the only piece that is missing is you could start like your own laundry chain, obviously. Right?
Do you know what the great thing about it is? It's free delivery as well across the region.
It's free delivery?
Yeah, because laundry...
But you charge the laundries for it?
Yeah, we take commission of every order. And the problem is, this is because it's a very old industry that's been known in the region that laundry delivery is for free. And the reason
the customers expect it.
Expect it, yes. And on JustClean, you find the same price as you go to the laundry. So if you went to Laundry A and you'd call them, or you walked into his laundry, or called him to deliver, you'd get the same price on JustClean. That's part of our contract.
But people would choose laundries close by, right? Though if I'm living in Riyadh, I won't choose a laundry in Jeddah.
Well, you're not going to show. We're only going to show you the laundries that cover that area through logistics and delivery.
Okay.
So we decide on that depending on the distance and the traffic around the laundry, and that's what we cover that in terms of delivery.
And can you share some numbers, like for the JustClean business itself? Like, I don't know what you're allowed to share, like revenue-wise, employer-wise, how many laundries are there?
Well, till date, we've raised $30 million from the main investors.
In total?
In total, we've raised $30 million since we started. We're 150 employees. We have an office in every country of the GCC. Our headquarters in Dubai. Our focus this year is expanding into Saudi Arabia and growing the Saudi Arabia market, ready for us to push growth across next year. When I say, then we'll talk about the new verticals, expansion for us is not as just simple as just opening up and you have to get the laundries on board, they have to understand how to use the system, our strategy and the way we work, because we will not compromise that at any level, because that later on reflects down to the customer in terms of the concept.
And within the 150 people working for JustClean, are there also like drivers?
Yes, 61 of these are operational people within the offices, and the rest are drivers. And we focus heavily on employing local talent. So in Saudi Arabia, our team are fully Saudi Arabian. In Bahrain, they're fully Bahraini, and likewise in the other countries. That gives us a good edge on what's happening in the market and how to speak to the customers.
And because investors are, especially now with this kind of tech bubble bursting, focusing rather on today's revenues than future revenues, are you able like to grow into a market like Saudi Arabia like from your own cash flow, or do you need like immense like external funding doing it?
Well, we're not at that level yet, but in the next 2 years, we believe if we continue going the way we are, we will be able to sustain the company and be profitable within the next 2 years. However, expanding into a new country, that takes investment, of course. Like if you look at the countries that we've established, we've done very well to make sure that it heads towards profitability. At the beginning, before the pandemic, our strategy was growth. Investors wanted growth, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
Now it's become more attractive to people that if you stop the marketing, are you able to survive? That's always a question you get these days. This is a question that's asked by when you go fundraising. That's the main question.
How do you solve the chicken egg problem in Saudi when you're now going into a new market? Do you go for like a big marketing campaign first? Do you have like an easy argument for convincing laundry owners to join your platform, or you just like, I guess you're going to in the big cities first, Riyadh and Jeddah, and then getting like I don't know how many laundries you need for covering your services.
So we started with the Eastern Province, didn't have any problems at all. We moved into Riyadh, didn't have any problems at all.
What is Eastern Province?
Eastern Province is Dammam, Al Khabar, closer to Kuwait, that side of the country.
Okay.
And then, so the thing is we come to Saudi Arabia with a name. We're known across the region, so it's helped us a lot. If you go back to Kuwait, it was literally begging people to join at the beginning, but that's not that anymore, because you're coming now with a brand. And
why wouldn't you allow somebody who's begging, or why would you not allow somebody who's begging on the platform?
I mean, like basically at the beginning, it was very tough to convince people. You'd have to literally say, please join, take 3 months free commission to convince them. But that's not the case in Saudi Arabia. The good thing about Saudi Arabia as well, there's a lot of big marketplaces up in the food industry and other industry that's helped us pave the way to come in. So they understand it immediately. And the other good thing is our management system, our laundry system, helped with the implementation of tax and online payment regulations in Saudi Arabia and in Bahrain. So laundries were pen and paper. Now JustClean comes with a solution for them. It solves that very, very quick, because in the last 2 years, Saudi Arabia put all the online things had to be online payment and everything. Not just that, they had to use a system to be able to regulate their tax. You can't regulate tax through pen and paper. So that helped us a lot coming in with our laundry management system.
That's true, but just going back to like Kuwait as a more saturated market where your market share is rather high. Yeah. Is there like a reason or like a rationale for not allowing additional laundries on the platform? Because you would say, let's rather share the existing baskets with the laundries that are online. I don't want to have like an average laundry on top of the platform.
See, we made a lot of mistakes from the beginning since we started this business, and so one of the biggest mistakes was hoarding laundries onto the app. Any laundry, get them on, give the customer selection. We then later realised we looked down to each cohorts of each laundry. So we look at each laundry, what's their retention rate, what's their churn rate for us. If they hit down to a certain level, no matter who they are, we would not want to continue with them, because as a marketplace, retention of customers is key. It's vital to keep on making this revenue. Like, you're only taking a commission, so you've got to try and hold as many people as possible in to keep growing that commission. I'm sure you know that. But so laundries, no matter who they are, if they cannot offer that consistent service, that good rating, that on-time pickup, that on-time delivery, less complaints, less tickets from our help centre opened, we try once and twice with warnings and training and retraining. If it doesn't work, we part ways, because the effect on the customer and on our retention for the customers is huge. And we looked over the years, and since we did that, we say, for example, we had in Kuwait over 600 laundries. We narrowed it down to 400 quality laundries that are willing to work with us as a brand.
Interesting. So, and then your big growth plan for 2023 is Saudi, but like apart like from growing the services you have already like in Kuwait available into Saudi, is there other services you can think about? Because now you have the marketplace system. You could deploy it into other categories. I guess there's like categories which are close to laundry. I wasn't driving around the streets here, but I'm pretty sure I will find some patterns where I would say, okay, this is definitely a marketplace opportunity here.
Well, to me, laundry is something that's in the past. We're very excited about what we've done this year. This year we launched home cleaning. So you're able to select someone to come to your house hourly or 2 hours or 3 hours to come and clean your house. And when I say we launched it, we don't just launch it in Kuwait. It's launched in Bahrain, in Qatar, in UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah Al Ain, Saudi Arabia. So we launch a full consistent service across the region. As well as we launched car wash at home. So you're able to book a car wash company to come to the house to clean your car and wash your car.
That's also your offering?
Yes, we're also offering that.
That I would like to have in Germany, car wash at home.
And we also offer car wash at the station. You know, some guys don't like getting their car washed at home. They like to go to the station. It's a thing they do at the weekend. But the worst thing about this is the huge queues. If you book one of the stations on JustClean, you get a QR code, you go to the station, and you get the VIP entrance to get your car washed.
There's a fast track for car washes here?
If you order on JustClean, yes. So instead of waiting in the queue, you book a slot and you turn up to the JustClean booth within the station and you just get your car washed immediately.
And how big are those markets, like house cleaning and car washing?
Well, we know the car wash and the house cleaning is huge. The home cleaning is very huge. We'll get into that. We look at things.
Is it bigger than the laundry business?
I would say it's somewhere similar. The car wash may be a bit less, but the good thing about them too is a huge basket size, bigger basket size than the laundry, and less headache operationally. So with laundry, the big problem with laundry is you pick up the clothes, you're responsible of these items until they are delivered. So there's a lot of stuff going on in between. With home cleaning, A, B, done. Car wash, A, B, done. Operationally, it's a less headache for us.
And that's true, but it's also harder like to retain the customer because from the home cleaning startups I know in Germany, for example, for them the retention is like it was a problem to get cleaners because there's just not enough people that want to do this job anymore. And B, if the cleaner was like good from a customer perception, they tried to convince the cleaner to get a direct payment to come home, get out of the app because you obviously want to stay with the cleaner all the time.
The good thing about the region here, it's not like US and some countries in Europe where it's freelancers. We're actually dealing with companies that have cleaners registered under them. So we're dealing with a company here. We're not dealing with cleaners directly. We're dealing with
that's same in Europe.
Yeah. So when we deal with these companies in that, they're obviously they're massive companies. They follow regulations of the country. The hardest thing about the home cleaning is the regulations. Each country has different regulations. Kuwait, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia. So adapting to all these regulations and times.
What is the regulation home cleaning?
For example, you can't send women home cleaning to a house if there's no woman in the house.
In all the region or just in Saudi?
Most of the countries.
Really?
Yeah, not in Dubai. That doesn't happen in Dubai. But there's other things such as they're only allowed to stay for a certain amount of hours in the house to do certain things. And you have to have certain licenses to offer these services from within the country. So you can only deal with partners that are licensed to do this. There's many people that are not licensed. So we have to be very careful of how we deal with these things. And luckily we deal with everything to the paper and to the legal and the way everything's worked.
And when did you start those services, home cleaning and car wash?
Well, we started it in February in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia just a month ago.
And how was the first reaction of your customers when
Very
you said,
good.
here's now, you can now book also home cleaning, not just your clothes, but somebody comes to your home?
Well, that was the plan. Whenever you think of clean, you think of JustClean. I could have called it just laundry at the beginning, but there was always the plan to be the cleaning.
Interesting, okay, yeah, I think, okay. What else can you clean? Okay.
Because laundry took so long, it was so tough to digitalize that we focused so heavily on it before coming into the others.
Okay.
So the others were much easier for us. It was a walk in the park. Now for the car wash companies, instead of getting an order on WhatsApp or getting an order on Instagram, we've got them a full system that's been adapted from laundry to car wash to home cleaning, that the owner's able to monitor his capacity daily and schedule all his orders. So now he's moving his orders from WhatsApp and Instagram straight to JustClean because he's able to organize his orders daily using our system as well.
And you charge the car wash owner for that?
Commission base.
It's also commission based?
Yes, everything's commission based.
Okay, interesting. Now we definitely need such a service now.
And then we also make a good amount of money from commercial revenue, which is who wants to be listed at the top of each area. So if you've got laundry A and I want to be at the top, you pay a certain amount so you stay at the top. But we have to make sure they have good rating and good consistency and good.
Okay, that I totally get. But do you offer like something like super VIP fast track where like there's a certain like car washes where some interior cleaning, something which is like super the resources are like super short, which you can't get usually, where like your best customers are getting this kind of service?
Of course, it depends on what services the service provider offers, but there's some service providers that offer services that take up to 4 hours outside your house to clean your car. They come with a full tent that covers your car that goes for proper cleaning to detail.
Why don't we have this in Europe? I ask myself.
And the latest thing we've gone into is beauty sector, so getting your nails done at home. I had my haircut yesterday at home in Dubai, so before going to the airport, booked on JustClean haircut, come to the house.
How much is such a service in Kuwait?
Same prices as you go to get a haircut.
But what is it like, the price range? What do you have to pay for a haircut?
I'd say yesterday I had my haircut for 150 dirhams.
That is like 30 euros, 30 pounds more or less.
30 pounds, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's normal price if I was to go to a good one. But I'm talking about the high level. But there is also...
But that's like further away from cleaning, right? That's more services then. Right?
It comes down into
it's
hygiene.
Also the same
yes.
app? It's just clean app?
Yeah, all under JustClean. And women can order their nails to be done at home.
So it becomes a super app?
It has become a super cleaning app.
No, it just becomes a super app, not a just super cleaning app.
Yeah,
there's more services around it.
And we're going into pet grooming as well. That's a very big basket size.
Yes. Is there what is the pet industry here in the region? I haven't seen any, because nobody's walking pets here, obviously.
It's a lot higher than you expect.
Yeah?
It's a lot higher than you expect.
Is it more cats, more dogs? What is it here?
Well, there's lots of cats here and there's lots of dogs. I'm talking about Dubai and that, and also in Saudi Arabia. However, you don't see people walking around with them now because due to the weather and the heat and that. So, like, for when it's very hot in the winter, you see it more, but in the summer, it's impossible to be walking your dogs outside in the heat.
That's true. Yeah. And the streets are crazy.
I don't think it's as much as Europe, but for me, it's a higher basket size. So, if you like the basket size to get your pet groomed here, we're talking 400, 500 dirhams minimum to get your pet groomed at your house. So I'm talking, these are services that come to your house and do the service at your house. Pet grooming, laundry, car wash, home cleaning, haircut. It's all done on JustClean. And the good thing about that is we've noticed now we have users that order weekly car wash, laundry and home cleaning.
What kind of growth rates do you expect, like, for your business in the next years?
See, we've built a clean company, so a good LTV, good CAC. We've been in the top funded 50 startups in Forbes for the last few years, top 10 Arabian business, due to us having a consistent presence in the market. However, we believe the promising market is Saudi Arabia that will take us to that next level. And then we'll look at other markets and that, but we don't want to focus on other markets until we focus heavily on Saudi Arabia and get Saudi Arabia booming.
Yeah, and with so many categories and so many markets to grow, there's at least 10, 20 years before you can look outside of those markets.
Yeah.
Crazy. Nice business. Thank you a lot for this insights. Now I think about how I can get a car wash, where people come with a tent putting over the car, in Germany. Nobody's going to do that because there's no people doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing. But here it's part of the culture. It's so hot to go out. You see the traffic here.
Yeah.
So if I can get everything done at home, if I can't get it done at home, the business shut down because they don't sustain customers that don't. You have to offer the home service. It's very vital. It's part of the culture. It's part of the way we live here. So getting these things done is very, very important. And we believe if you look at the Saudi 2030 vision, there's the food apps, there's the flower apps, there's other apps, taxi. We believe we're going to be that leading the cleaning app within the region. Due to us being local as well, understanding the market very well, local backers, local investors, local teams.
Maybe one last question, because obviously other companies might have seen your success. What about the competition aspect, or are there other apps trying to enter the market with a similar service? Because now you have obviously educated the laundry services. I don't know if you have an exclusivity clause in there, but another app owner comes in and say, I offer you the same, but I only take 50% of the margin JustClean is taking.
The more people that invest into this market and the more investment that goes into it, it's only going to benefit us, because the problem is there's not been a big exit or a big bang within the cleaning industry. So we need as many players to come into the thing hopefully to be an umbrella built that has all these companies under, like Delivery Hero that did with the food and other big apps, Rocket Internet and things. So for us, we lack that in the industry. There's not been a big exit, a big IPO or a big merge, M&A, nothing. So the more people that come into the region, that shows there's more money being spent, that more investments going into it, it's only going to benefit us, because the market, I don't think we have 1% of the market share that's out there. So to be able to, I think competition would be very healthy. We have competition in Dubai. We also have competition in certain countries, smaller things. However, there's only a few big players that are doing this.
If I could think about it, could be JustCleaner. But
So
I guess you have preserved this name.
So we need an umbrella to get there with all the big companies underneath it.
Yeah. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being on.
It's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you.